It was 2009, and my schedule that day was light. I had just finished my lunch when I got a call from a friend and colleague. We shared a building and often sent work each other's way. He said he had a walk-in patient he wanted to send up to me. He told me it was a young girl named Amelia. Her mother was worried she might have an eating disorder. I agreed, thinking it was a fairly standard case. I tidied my office and waited. 10 minutes passed, no one came. I stepped into the hall and found people gathering near the elevator. It had broken down between the 10th and 11th floors, exactly where my colleague's office was. I knew from experience it could take an hour before it started working again. I hoped Amelia wasn't claustrophobic. Finally, over an hour later, cheers rang out in the hall. The elevator had restarted. I pushed through the crowd to see, but the smell hit me before I even got close. It was rancid, like filth and decay. Inside the elevator wasn't a frail young girl. Instead, a massive woman stepped forward. She looked easily 500 pounds, her face swollen, her hair messy with curlers still in it. Her mouth and shirt were smeared with what looked like barbecue sauce. Bits of meat stuck to her lips. In her hands, she clutched a swaying black trash bag that squelched with every movement. The stench coming off her and that bag was unbearable. Amelia?
I was hungry.
People gasped and backed away, but I stepped forward. Despite every instinct telling me not to, I offered to bring her into my office. She followed, sobbing and clinging to that bag as if it were her lifeline. Each step made the bag slosh. I held the door for her as she lumbered inside and stood in the middle of my office, breathing heavily, tears streaming down her swollen face.
The elevator got stuck.
I told her she was safe now, and at least she had something to eat while stuck in the elevator. She nodded, bawling even harder. I offered her tissues, but she refused to put down the bag. She tried to dab her face, smearing red across her skin. "What do you have in there?"
Leftovers?
She sobbed louder, squeezing the bag until it made wet, sickening noises. I fought the urge to gag. I decided she wasn't ready to talk. I gave her my card, suggested she come back later when she was calmer. She shuffled out of my office, still crying, hugging onto the bag. The smell lingered long after she left. She never called me back. A week later, I was having drinks with my colleague. I brought her up casually, thanked him for sending Amelia to me. Amelia? The scrawny 12-year-old girl? I froze. My stomach dropped. He looked at me, realization dawning on his face at the same time as mine. Amelia had been the patient. The woman was her mother. And when the elevator had gotten stuck, only the mother came out, clutching that foul, sloshing bag. Neither Amelia nor her mother were ever seen again.
I have a cross necklace that I like to wear. I was wearing it one day when my daughter was about 5. She started yelling, "Take it off, Mummy, take it off." When I asked her why, she said, "That lady in the corner really doesn't like it." Just then, there was an audible thump from the corner of the room. My daughter and I froze. I took it off immediately. To this day, I'm scared to wear that necklace in that room. This story happened just 2 days ago, and honestly, I'm still trying to make sense of what I experienced. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning to get ready for work. I've always been the type to get moving right after my alarm goes off, so I was already halfway through putting on my uniform when it happened. That's when I heard it. A man screamed directly above me. It wasn't just any scream either. It was the kind of scream that makes your blood run cold. The type of scream that makes you picture someone in absolute danger. It lasted only about 5 seconds, and then silence. For a moment, I just froze there, trying to process what I had just heard. My brain was still foggy from sleep, so it took me a few seconds to snap out of it and grab my phone, thinking I should call the police. Now I live in a pretty loud neighbourhood. Screams and shouting outside aren't exactly rare. But this scream? This wasn't the sound of kids messing around. This wasn't someone yelling at a neighbour. This sounded like someone was being murdered. And here's the part that left me completely shaken. I live on the top floor of my apartment building. Above me is nothing but roof. So how could a scream come from right above my room? There's no access to the roof unless you're a worker. And even if someone somehow got up there, the scream didn't echo into the open air the way you'd expect it to come from the rooftop. No, it sounded confined, like it came from a room. The walls in my building are thin, so thin that I can hear my neighbours talking sometimes. So I was sure other people would have heard this scream too. But my parents, who were just down the hall, didn't wake up. Nobody else in the building reported anything. It was like I was the only one who heard it. Later that morning, I stepped outside and looked up at the roof. It was still dark out, but from what I could see, nothing seemed unusual. Nobody was up there. I didn't want to stand around outside any longer than I had to, so I got in my car and drove to work. Until now, I haven't heard a single report, a single word, from anyone who might have heard that scream. So here I am, left wondering, what the hell did I hear that morning?
Back in 2018 or 19, I was hanging out with a friend one evening. Around 6:30, I decided to head home. It was that time of year where the sun disappears early, when it gets pitch black outside before dinner. That kind of darkness that makes a scary story feel even creepier. The drive home was only about 10, maybe 15 minutes. When I pulled into the driveway, I realized I was alone. My parents were either out to dinner or out of town. I can't remember which, but the point is, the house was completely mine for the night. When you walk into my house, you step directly into the living room. To the right is the kitchen, to the left, a hallway. The hallway leads to a separate bedroom, then the bathroom, and finally, my room at the end. The house was dark, but I didn't bother turning on any lights. It's a straight path to my room. As I started walking down the hallway, I froze. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw something. Half a face and a shoulder, peeking out from my bathroom doorway. And the instant I focused on it, the figure slipped back inside. My first reaction, and looking back, probably not the smartest, was to rush straight into the bathroom. I flicked on the light, my heart was pounding in my chest, but the room was empty. Nobody there, nothing at all. I'd experienced odd things before, little moments that felt paranormal, but never this clear, never this real. To this day, that moment, seeing that face, watching it slip back into the darkness, it's the most intense and unforgettable experience I've ever had. I don't usually make posts like this, or share my creepy experiences, but since we're getting closer to spooky season, I figured I'd tell this one that still gives me chills. It might sound made up or like total BS, but I swear on everything I love, this actually happened. And the reason it stuck with me is because it left me with so many questions. This was at the very beginning of the COVID lockdown. I was living in downtown LA. Most of my usual late night food spots were closed, except for a few. I was craving fried chicken. So, like anyone would, I went to Google Maps and typed in fried chicken near me. Scrolling through reviews, one place after another, eventually I landed on Popeyes. And not all Popeyes are the same. So I was scrolling through trying to find a decent one. That's when I came across a review that stopped me cold. I don't remember the exact wording, but it was something like, "The chicken here is so good and fresh, almost as good as human meat." Obviously that freaked me the hell out, but curiosity got the best of me. So I clicked the reviewer's profile because if you don't know, Google lets you check someone's past reviews. That's when things got really unsettling. The account didn't look like some throwaway troll, no profile picture account, but the name and writing gave me the impression it was maybe a Caucasian guy. And the weird part, he had plenty of normal reviews, legit ones, but scattered between them were comments that chilled me to my core. Over and over again, across restaurants in Southern California and even the high desert, he kept comparing food to human meat. Things like, "This meat is almost as good as human flesh," or "Human flesh would really complement their sides." I remember just sitting there, staring at my screen, thinking, what the hell did I just read? Honestly, I think I lost my appetite because I don't remember if I ended up ordering Popeyes after that. And the worst part, I wish I had taken screenshots because who knows what that guy was into or what he's still into. I even tried looking for that account last year, but I couldn't find it. It was just gone. What makes this so creepy to me is the reminder that we walk amongst people who might seem normal on the outside, but behind closed doors, God only knows what they're into. To this day, the profile still creeps me out. And sometimes I wonder, was I just looking at a sick joke? Or was I staring into the thoughts of someone who has actually done something unthinkable?